It is a cold and foggy morning here in New Delhi, and it is a cold spell that the entire north of India is experiencing. Now there's snow all around. It's as good as it's snowing here in Delhi as well, as was expected after a wet spell that we had.
Yep.
As you can see how well clad we are, unlike
I'm getting the Vizag vibes at this point. It's not that cold as it was about a week back.
it is today. It is very cold.
Is it? I don't know. I'm not feeling it at this
At
point.
least the Met department seems to suggest that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm because I think I've gotten that energy from the excitement of the Vizag test match. I mean, look at the weather there, bright, sunny, and it's in a beautiful, beautiful city.
And morning of a test match.
Yeah.
That too of a 5-match series where there is going to be a game of cat and mouse between the two teams as to with the visitors already 1-0 ahead. What is it that India is going to do? Change of strategy for them? Will it be change of strategy for England? We've already seen a couple of changes that England have done. One is a forced change because Leach got out, so they had to bring in the off spinner. The other is a change that they've decided to do, which a lot of us were surprised didn't happen in the first test. Jimmy Anderson not playing, Mark Wood did, but now I think good sense has prevailed and they have got Jimmy Anderson back. So those two changes for them, and India of course again will be forced to make a minimum of 2 changes too of their own after injuries to KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja. So Rajat Patidar we can confirm, as we had actually anyway 2 days leading up to it, that that's the one thing that we've seen with this Indian team, that they do have a pecking order, like they do not like to get players to jump that. So if it is a batter who's been there with the team or in the scheme of things before the other one, then, and if one slot opens up, it's usually that batter only who goes in. Similarly for a fast bowler or a spinner, they've done that, and keeping in that trend, Rajat Patidar is going to be playing. What that also tells you, there is no space for a Sarfraz. There was a discussion that maybe Sarfraz and Patidar would be playing, could have played together, but now we can confirm that's not happening. So now the Indian team is only left with 2 choices. Either they stay with Siraj, apart from of course bringing in another spinner for Jadeja. So one, that Patidar is coming for KL Rahul. One spinner, 99% going to be Kuldeep Yadav for Jadeja. Those 2 changes will happen. But the third change, many thought that maybe Siraj goes out, so one, you get an extra batter. Could have been a Sarfraz. That's not happening. There are only 2 options left. Either a Washington then comes in for Siraj. Or then Siraj stays. I think
because this is not going to be a rank turner. We saw the Vizag wicket yesterday, that it was going to be a flat deck. You saw the heavy roller and the light roller being employed. You're going to see a 2016 kind of a pitch that is there. It won't break up that quickly. It will break up on day 2 or day 3, late on day 2, early on day 3. Now, having 3 spinners, I think that's your core. That's your strength. You have to have 2 pacers. We can't go the England way wherein, they have only 1 pacer and 4 spinners. But I think this kind of wicket, India should pick the right combination, which is 2 pacers and 3 spinners. Now, how will you utilize Mohammad Siraj? Because he was grossly underutilized in Hyderabad. Whether he's going to have the same thing at this point, whether he can get it to reverse swing, because Siraj is a good proponent of reverse swing. They got in Jimmy Anderson because of the fact that he can also reverse swing it. But can Siraj do that? That is another question. If they are not sticking with Mohammad Siraj, then I think playing Sundar makes sense, because you got batting until I think all 11 can bat. That is the thing.
No, but I mean the shot that Siraj played last test match, I'm not counting him as a batter, should have stuck around. Who knows? 27, 28 runs to get. We've often discussed that once you bring it below 20, another 7, 8 runs they could have gone that day. And below 20 you come the next day. You don't know, the other team panics.
Exactly.
I know that England at that time were odds-on favourite to win, but again, you never know. Should have. So I mean, I'm not looking at a Bumrah or a Siraj to give me too many runs. Let's be realistic. Your batting was still 9 last test match. It is most likely going to remain till number 9. And now I agree with Siddharth. I think with the images of the pitch that we got yesterday, the pitch that we are likely to get, I think they'll stick with a Siraj and Bumrah, and then Kuldeep is coming in for Ravindra Jadeja.
Yes.
And of course we already know that Patidar has been given his debut cap, so he is coming in place of KL Rahul. Interestingly, there is also report from the ground saying Mukesh Kumar is also warming up and this and that, though I've said it quite often before, that's never an indicator.
Yep.
But I highly doubt it that if you are going in with that second fast bowler, it's not Siraj and it's Mukesh. I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Mukesh, it would be harsh to drop Siraj based on that one performance in Hyderabad, because you hardly bowled him.
Yeah.
Now Mukesh, okay, he made his debut in all formats in the West Indies, but putting him into the cauldron at this point when India are already 1-0 down, you have to play the right team here. And if we had suggested in the dugout yesterday that India could copy England and get in 4 spinners, get in a Sundar in place of a Siraj, then it's harakiri. Then you're seriously committing harakiri at this point in time, because as I mentioned, you don't know your own strengths. England, plying on that, are playing the ultimate mind games with India, because 4 spinners they are picking. Oh, should we also, have we missed a trick by losing that 1 spinner slot? Because Sundar, if he comes, he gives you batting, so there's 10. Kuldeep can also hang in there. So
as I said, that wouldn't be a bad option if you do get in a Sundar.
Yep.
Also gives you a left-handed batting option, but now we know that India is not tilting towards that. So with knowing fully well that you have got a batting friendly pitch, do you need an extra bat? When I say batting friendly, I'm saying relatively, not batting friendly as in the Ahmedabad of Border Gavaskar Trophy. We're definitely not getting that. The pitch, whatever images I'm seeing even now on the day of the match, we showed you some images yesterday during a dugout. It did seem like a flat track. It is looking like that, but you can see there are cracks, but those aren't cracks to be worried about right now. Those are the cracks that you'll worry about after day 3. You see that it does have a dry look to it, but not as dry as we saw in the previous game in Hyderabad. That too wasn't a vicious turner. It was a slow turner. If it's slightly less drier than that, at least that's what the naked eye is suggesting, then it is a good batting track to begin with, which again tells you that toss becomes even more crucial.
And remember, whenever in baseball, England, barring the first game that was there in Edgbaston against India, whenever England have batted, they set the initiative. And they follow the mantra of bat first, bat big. And you saw, we may discount Pakistan, whatever they did in Pakistan, but that Pakistan series was baseball in Asia. Look at how they played. They had a big score. Who scores 600 runs in just 100 overs? That's how they bat, and it's a flat deck. And on top of that, the interesting thing is top layer is black soil, which means it will not crumble that quickly, and you want to get slow turn. Now, India were undone not because of their skills or anything, the slow turn that was on offer. That was the major thing that impacted them in Hyderabad. Because if you look at it, Ashwin, Jadeja, they thrive on fast spin, which happens in Ahmedabad during the 2021 series. But here, it's slow turn, and that's where they were found wanting. And that's why, there it is, the guy who was in so much action at that time, Shoaib Bashir, he's finally making his debut as well, and it's going to be interesting how he bowls to the left-handers.
There's a debut on the Indian side. It's very rare, by the way, to see someone debut in India 30 plus. But it is happening for Rajat Patidar, but he's been toiling very hard in domestic cricket. You've all seen him in the IPL, but in domestic cricket he's been toiling very hard, and I think he's got the rewards for that now. The news coming in about the pitch from Vizag is that it's a beauty to bat on. Kevin Peterson has said in the pitch report that England, if they bat first, are going to score 1 million runs. So he's already set the gauntlet there. He's already put a benchmark there, already the mind game, saying that if this is the pitch that it seems like at the moment there are plenty of runs to be had. So it is now certain which way India has gone. Against common judgments and expectations that it's going to be a rank turner, a dry pitch where England will struggle, India have gone the exact opposite. I mean, the debate on that will continue, whether India was spooked by England's one performance, whether it was smart of them to go away from their tried and tested formula of troubling the visiting teams with rank turners and to go back to flatter tracks. Will that be a right call or not? We'll only wait and find out.
Yeah.
But that India have decided in that sense of playing on a typical Indian pitch we got used to seeing for a long time. So this is a pitch we're getting to know beauty to bat on for the first 2 days. From day 3 the pitch starts spinning. From day 4 even more turn. By day 5 you are as a batter, using all your skill against spinner to survive. So that is pretty much how the pitch is going to play. Now it is, and because yesterday also we gave you an insight or an idea of how the pitch is going to be, but till yesterday it was still a day before the test match. You don't know what happens on the day, but now on the day of the test match, that is the prediction. So crucial toss, which India have won.
Bat first. And
big toss to win. You can't miss the smile on Ben Stokes' face. I mean the smile. Yeah, the right smile indicating, oh boy.
Yes, they are.
Oh boy, it is a big toss to win.
It is.
First bit of good news, folks. If you've woken up early this Friday morning, the start of the weekend, first bit of good news.
India up to bat. And please, the openers should get the mandate. Survive a new ball spell from Jimmy Anderson. Then you've done your work. Because remember, on this deck, early morning, a bit of swing, good flat deck means a bit of truer bounce. Anderson could be that difference maker in that sense. And then Leach Bashir, Hartley and all the others, they get to ensure that they tie the runs down. But yes, big toss to win. But remember, even if you look at it, India got the better of the conditions in Hyderabad. And they somehow didn't make full use of. Dravid himself admitted, we were 70 runs short in the first innings.
No, but I don't know, because that was a funny track, because a lot of people said that it got better for batting. So maybe innings number 3 was the best time to bat. Who knows?
Maybe.
It was a funny track.
Yes.
It was a funny track in that regard. I mean, it did not crumble as much. But if it did get better for batting, then India underperformed in the 4th innings.
Yes.
So, that would be interesting. Okay, let's see what Rohit Sharma has said. He said it looks like a good pitch to bat. I mean, again, firstly, no brainer.
Yeah.
They have won the toss, decided to bat first. The only reason we did not mention that is because, that was just a given. Any team that won the toss would have decided to bat first. So it's a complete given that India have done that. That's why we did not, really announce that on the program. But he says the pitch looks a good pitch, but the pitch will also do its thing. We need to play good cricket. What happened in Hyderabad is history. We need to move on. We have spoken on things we need to do and execute our plans. I thought we batted well in the first innings, but didn't have the same intent. Yes. I like that in the second innings. I completely agree. That's exactly what India faltered in. Second innings, not coming out aggressively. He says in the their bowling was very good in the second inning, and that knocked by Ollie Pope. So, and he's also spoken about the injury, saying part and parcel.
Big news in the Indian playing 11. No Siraj, Mukesh Kumar.
I told you. He was warming up.
He was.
He was warming up.
Yes.
He was warming up. Again, just had an idea that Mukesh Kumar would be playing. Oh, yep. That is interesting.
The BCCI has given an update. Mohammad Siraj has been released from the India squad for the second test against England. The decision was taken keeping in mind the duration of the series and the amount of cricket he has played in recent times.
Yeah.
He will be available for selection in Rajkot.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty much, I feel it's not because of an injury or anything. Probably
Workload
they
management.
decided, no, I think probably even before, I don't think you needed workload right now, but I have a feeling that they decided to go in with the Mukesh. And as soon as they took that call, then it was only logical that you said, okay, you take a break, because there's a 9-day break. He is that one of your all format bowlers.
Yes.
So if you're not going to be using him and having him with the team to carry drinks, and then a 9-day break coming up, so they may have released him. I think after what has happened with Ishan Kishan, when him wanting to take a break, going there, spending time at home and so on and so forth, I think they may have been a bit more careful about this. I think the team is going to be thinking about doing this going forward. So when you knew that you're not going to be playing him in this test match, and then there is a big break coming up anyway, in which case I think most players then would be allowed to go home in that big break. So if that is happening, then might as well do it right now. So, but I think the decision is not like workload management hasn't preceded the cricketing decision. So the decision has been a cricketing one of going with Mukesh, maybe because they think he could do better or pick up wickets for them, followed by, okay, now that we've taken a decision to play Mukesh, let's give Siraj a break.
Will the same thing be applied to even Jasprit Bumrah? Because remember, it's a 5-test series. But if you remove...
But the difference is, Siddharth, as I said, you've taken a cricketing decision to bring in a Mukesh, I feel. In a cricketing decision, there's no way you're ever picking any other bowler over a Bumrah.
Yes.
In this case, you may have gone with Mukesh and then given him a break, but you're not picking anyone over a Bumrah until a time where he himself says that, or they feel that he's bowled. So in Bumrah's case, it will be workload management before merit. I think the decision will be workload management before merit. But for the other one, I think for a Mukesh or anyone, it's exactly going to be opposite.
That's the thing, because see, India will have to manage Jasprit Bumrah well, because remember, 5 tests, not easy to play all 5. And looking at Bumrah's history of injuries, okay, there is a 9-day gap between the third test, second and the third test, and then you have a 9-day gap between the 4th and the 5th test. But then you already have the IPL in 10 days time after that. Then after that, you are proceeding it with the World T20, and Bumrah is your first name in that team sheet apart from the captain. In all formats. How are you going to manage him? Because see, the decision on Siraj has been taken now. He's not there. 9 days, so he's getting a 13-day break until Rajkot. Now at this point in time, can Bumrah be applied the same thing? Well, I think the same principle should apply to even Jasprit Bumrah, because as I said, you have to wrap him up in cotton wool. Now with Siraj gone, if India suppose are in the series, then I don't see him any resting. So India are actually with a catch-22 situation on this. They can rest a Siraj, great, but can they rest a Bumrah, who's much more valuable in that sense?
As I said, workload will dictate if you want to rest. If you think he's played, let's say 3 test matches, workload management will dictate that you can rest him.
Yes.
But I don't think that's happened in case of Siraj.
Yep.
Siraj, it probably is the case of whatever the decision that they've gone with bowling merit before. So they've decided that bowling is going to be, or they feel that Mukesh could be the one who does the trick. And then after that decision is taken, they've decided to release him. Bumrah, exact opposite. Bumrah, they will first think, I think he needs rest because of workload, and then you look at a cricketing decision.
Happy for Kuldeep Yadav playing a home test after a long time.
No, that was a given. We said yesterday 2 things will happen. Rajit Patidar will play for KL Rahul. There was no chance Sarfraz is going to play, that we had mentioned even earlier, because that's how decision they're taken. And Kuldeep Yadav had almost made the 11 last time. He did not make it because Akshar Patel's batting went in his favour. Now that another slot opened up, there's no chance you are not going to play Kuldeep. I think in a career that he's had where he's picked up so many wickets, just played 7 or how many test matches?
7 tests in India.
Yeah, 7 tests in India.
6 years.
That in itself is not really ideal for the kind of talent that he shows. I think the last time he played, he was man of the match or something like that.
I think he picked a 5-wicket haul. I think he took 5 wickets against the West Indies, if I am not mistaken. And that's about it.
Thank you, Shashwat, for joining us. Very kind of you to have made out time and joined us on first day of a test match. So, what are your thoughts?
Great toss to win. I just saw that it's a really good toss to win, because the best opportunity India is going to have is by batting. First, we were talking about this yesterday. Also, we need to change. We might be seeing that change in approach by the Indian batters that we saw in the first game also. I think that is the approach all the batters would be taking here. I feel a little harsh on Mohammad Siraj here because either you were going with just one pacer, that would have been a different thought process. I would have thought then that has been done for the team combination. Here it makes me feel like they have dropped someone like a Siraj, and that is something that I feel is a little harsh on him too soon, because on this wicket he would have had a better chance than, I know he hasn't had the best run, but he should have gotten an opportunity on this wicket as well.
I agree. I think, I'm a bit surprised that they have not picked Siraj. Let's be honest, again, it's pretty clear that the decision that has been taken is a cricketing one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as crude or harsh it may sound that Siraj is dropped, that in fact is quite the case. That is the reality.
Correct.
That's exactly what they've done. So, it's not that he's injured, it's not that workload management has come into play. They thought that maybe Mukesh gives us a better opportunity to pick that wicket, which is why I'm saying surprising, considering he didn't get too many overs to bowl in Hyderabad. And you look at it, you had to be a genius like Jasprit Bumrah actually to be picking up wickets.
Yes.
Because look at Mark Wood also. And Mark Wood came out previously in the test match after that saying that, listen, anyway I didn't have a great game and Jasprit Bumrah made me look even more mediocre because of how good he was. So there are not going to be too many fast bowlers that can match up to a Jasprit Bumrah on a pitch where there was no assistance to fast bowlers. So to have judged him from that may not be the correct case. The only logic I see there is they feel that because again they want to bring in that surprise element, maybe they think that England know enough about Siraj, have practiced against Siraj, and this England team, one thing, they've come prepared. They have come prepared for this particular series for most bowlers and what they're going to do. Just that Mukesh could be that X factor, could be that surprise factor. I think that's the only other logic that I can think of.
But in the times of an IPL, I think that X factor, that
no, but
surprise
white
factor,
ball is different, no?
But they may have seen a lot, they may have seen him in the West Indies also. When he's playing his first home test, Mukesh Kumar.
Sure, but do you come prepared for him? If I'm England team, I'm preparing for a Ashwin, a Jadeja, a Bumrah. You've done all that homework. I don't think Mukesh Kumar would have been that high on their priority list.
But still, I don't think that would have been India's thought process here, that because they would be Mukesh Kumar would be getting a surprise element, because anyways fast bowlers aren't going to be bowling the bulk of the overs. It's going to be the minimal role. I think in this bowling lineup, by the end of the test match, Mukesh Kumar will be the one who would have bowled the least number of overs. So I think it's more of ending the run for Siraj, because he did not have a good time in South Africa also. He did not have the best of times in South Africa, plus seeing him in the last test match. I feel they have run out of time with him, and it's a little too soon. I think on this wicket he should have been given an opportunity, because I feel this would have been a helpful wicket for him as well.
No, but I run out of time with him so fast, as we said, I find it surprising.
Yeah.
But if you are saying that they're not going to bowl Mukesh Kumar, and if that is your thought process, why are you playing Mukesh Kumar?
No, you are going to bowl him, but he's going to be the bowler with the least number of overs.
No, I think both Jasprit Bumrah and Mukesh, that's a given. If you watch Test cricket, the fast bowler will obviously be the least amount. I mean, it doesn't need rocket science to understand that Akshar Patel, Ravichandran Ashwin and Kuldeep Yadav will bowl most overs because they are your spinners. The least amount of overs will be the two fast bowlers. And amongst the two fast bowlers, the least amount of overs will be given to the less experienced. So that's a no-brainer. But it's not that you're going to give him least amount of bowlers because you do not trust him. My point is that. So if you've played him, there has to be a reason, na?
No, I'm saying that's not. I don't think that would be the reason that he would get that surprise element, because I feel he's going to be the bowler with the least number of overs. So I don't think in that terms he would be giving that sort of a difference.
No, but surprise element, it takes 3 overs to surprise anyone.
So
how many overs does? I mean, if I'm bringing a bowler that the opposition is not prepared for, I'm not bringing him only because I'm thinking I'll bring him 20 overs an innings. Yeah. Even if I think that surprise element bowler can bowl, I mean, I didn't understand the logic that if someone is bowling less overs, I can't use him as a surprise element.
No, he can be used as a surprise element, but I don't think that he will have that much impact on this game. Mukesh.
Yeah, but that is exactly what we are saying. I am trying to understand the thought process why they picked him. That he will not have a impact. If you had to ask amongst the 5 bowlers that are playing, if I had to ask you just to take a wild guess, which is that one bowler you think will have the least amount of wickets in the test match finishes, would you pick anyone other than Mukesh Kumar? In your assessment, that could well be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's how cricket is, right? That could well be wrong. But I'm saying 9 people out of 10 that if you were to ask right now, they would probably pick Mukesh for 2 things: for bowling the least amount of overs and being the one with the least amount of wickets at the end of the test match. Again, could be wrong, but there has to be a logic why you've played a Mukesh over Siraj, and that's the logic that I'm trying to understand. One of the thing that I can think of is that probably because the opposition doesn't know about him, that could be the only logic. That they've run out of patience of Siraj, I find it hard to believe. I don't think he's at that disastrous a time that you are just going to get rid of him.
I think also Mukesh can get reverse swing also with his action and with the way how it is. I mean, you got 2
that
pacers.
seems like a more logical explanation than him bowling least amount of overs.
And also, if you look at it, Mukesh in domestic cricket has toiled on these kind of wickets far more. And that's why, if you look at the past records, last 2-3 years of Ranji, he's been in the wickets column every single time when you look at it, in the top 5 wicket takers. And his ability to swing, reverse swing, conventional swing, maybe that could ensure that you get it. That's why he's gotten the nod ahead of Mohammad Siraj. And looking at Siraj's workload management, all format player, you need him even for the IPL, you need him even for the World T20 as one of the guys. So that's why, big thing. So that's why it's a huge call that they have taken. And 2 debuts, by the way, I mean, a kind of a semi-debut. Mukesh, first home test. Rajat Patidar, he is one of the favorites of Chandrakant Pandit, I am told. Chandrakant Pandit, as we all know, is a fantastic, hard taskmaster. He's a fantastic taskmaster. You say, you shouldn't play that kind of a shot. Oh, why did you play that kind of a shot? Apparently, in the net session in MP, Rajat Patidar never got that from Chandrakant sir. So, it's a good feeling. 45.97 average, 4,000 runs. But yes, the debate is there. Sarfaraz, when will he get the chance? He was, I mean, if I again like to use my favorite rail analogy, he was premium.
But when do you get a chance? As in, who would you play him instead of?
You can't. Because Rajat Patidar was
but it sounds like as if some injustice has been done to him. No. Where will you play him?
I would have wanted, personally, I would have wanted Sarfaraz, but because Rajat Patidar was picked ahead of Sarfaraz and he's been in that dressing room for a while now and has been before Sarfaraz, so it's logical and more fair to him.
I would personally want to play Prithvi Shaw. Does not mean I can play him.
For me, he was premium Tatkal, Rajat Patidar, so he had to get it. Apart from that, the other guy, Sarfaraz is PQW, pooled quota, waitlist. He had no chance of getting it.
Also, the reason Patidar, I think, is the front runner and was picked before Sarfaraz is also the reason that his approach, the intent he plays with that aggressive intent that India has been looking for in this series particularly. I think that is also a reason that Patidar came into the side.
Does Patidar bowl left arm orthodox a bit? Does he bowl?
But even if he does, he would not be bowling here.
I mean, maybe. I mean, he could be your surprise element to the ball.
You have Yashasvi, you haven't bowled him till now.
Yashasvi, we've seen him bowl in the nets at times, but even then, that doesn't mean he gets the ball actually.
I know. See, we are looking at surprise elements at this point in time. Rajat Patidar, I think, if memory serves, I think he did bowl left arm. I think, I may be mistaken also. But yeah, see, you're playing your 5 bowlers in Ashwin, Aksar, Kuldeep, Jasprit, Mukesh. Okay. Jasprit and Mukesh, I hope that, okay, now India are going to bat anyways. I hope when they come the next time, they don't bowl them for 7-8 overs like what happened in Hyderabad. You get 2-3 overs from both, get the spinners in directly on this wicket. Get in, I would say, see, England are opening with a Anderson and a Bashir. You'll have to open with Bashir because there's a left-hander on strike.
Yeah.
So, you'll have to open with Shoaib Bashir. Tactics are also going to win. You're done with your team combination. Now, please stress on the one thing where cricket is played on, tactics. Because Rohit in his captaincy got certain things wrong in Hyderabad. The field was too defensive or he waited for things to happen.
But that was when, there was a tag being taken to the Indian bowlers where
I agree.
You really as a captain were actually, rare circumstances where you're actually in a fix whether to have the field up, whether to have 2 sweepers, a short fine, silly point. You didn't know because there was sweeping, reverse sweeping, all of that was happening.
Very difficult to set a field for
Exactly.
that.
So you didn't know whether to go for an aggressive field, which many of our family members also did point out. I remember that the field wasn't aggressive enough. We missed Virat Kohli, Virat Kohli's captaincy, this and that. You got to realize that yes, this was the kind of cricket that not every team plays, and it's not everyday cricket. Let's say.
Yep. Who was that Pakistan leg spinner, the bespectacled Pakistan leg spinner? Because he got 7 wickets against England.
I'll tell.
It is. I forget his name. Because we are talking about legs. Yes. Abrar Ahmed. Abrar Ahmed. I mean, if you look at it, there is a point in how England will approach leg spin. Because Abrar Ahmed with his leg spin got 7 wickets on debut. But Kuldeep, he might be your X-factor in this wicket.
You cannot sweep him, na? That's why.
You can try.
Yeah, but
you
again,
can
that's
try.
your answer. Kuldeep's your answer to, let's say, you had conventional spinners bowling the other time in Hyderabad. But otherwise, if you are looking at breaking the rhythm, let's say, as far as sweeping, reverse sweeping, maybe a Chinaman's the answer.
Yep.
He'll get that extra bounce also on this wicket, so it's not going to be that easy to actually sweep him so easily.
I just hope that the slog. I mean, see, the only way where Kuldeep can be vulnerable is if the batsman go for the slog sweep. The slog sweep is the one area where he can be put off. But apart from that, yes, sweeping and reverse sweeping is tough because of the extra bounce factor, the extra revs, the extra rip that he'll get. So, for me, in this India side, your X factor is Kuldeep.
Yeah, and like most wrist spinners, once they get into the rhythm and once they get their right spot, after that they just get better and better. Kuldeep, I think, is the same here. As soon as he gets into his rhythm once, because he has not played since a very long time now in Test cricket. So as soon as he gets into that, I think he could be really a very big threat for the English batters, because till now they had the finger spinners, they were playing the sweeps and reverse sweeps, and by that approach really worked for them. Now suddenly a Kuldeep would be a really interesting factor when it comes to the English batting.
Exactly. So, flat deck, Kuldeep has to step up because he's bowled well on featherbeds and flat decks. That's why.
I think more than Kuldeep, it's the batting that needs to.
We hope so. Rohit, I mean, Yashasvi and Rohit, see, they showed the intent. Rohit did show it in both innings. I mean, he was the guy who got a 39. I think he was the highest scorer, if I'm not mistaken, in the second innings. Yeah. I think he was the highest scorer. But then, see, Yashasvi, Rohit, they need to show up. Big match for Shubman.
Yeah.
If he can't get runs on this wicket,
and
panic
here as well.
And batting first.
Yeah. Then
Shivam, can I see some questions, please?
Yeah. I just hope Shubman and Shreyas do it, because I have a feeling if they don't, then it's panic stations for you.
Not so much for Shubman Gill, I feel more for Shreyas Iyer.
I think even Gill's in pressure.
Yeah.
I think the team wouldn't get out of patience with him, wouldn't run.
Okay, Akash Bharadwaj is like saying, do you think our batting has gotten weaker? Should have included Sundar in place of Mukesh?
No, I don't think so, because you've got a batter for KL Rahul. I think the Jadeja, the batter you're going to miss because Kuldeep has come in. So it does drop one bit. But I guess you also have to take the circumstances under which you're playing, which is the pitch. If it's a flat pitch, as we now know, it's a beauty of a pitch to bat on. It is the first 2 days. So what are you going to do? You're going to bolster your bowling, then batting. I think in that pitch where you did not expect too many runs to be had, you went in with the cushion of a batter, which is why Akshar got the nod ahead of a Kuldeep. I think Rohit had mentioned that. If you were playing, let's say, with the available squad in this test match, there was a good chance maybe Kuldeep played ahead of Akshar when Jadeja was available and KL Rahul. So if that is how you're going to, that's the thought process based on the pitch that you're playing in. I think it is a smart call. And you will need, if it's a lot of bowling, it's a flat track, you will need 2 fast bowlers. You can't have one just bowling those many overs. You're going to use Bumrah in bursts. And if you need another fast bowler to do that, especially when the ball is reverse swinging, then you will need 2 fast bowlers. So really not a place that you could have fit in a Sundar. Sundar could have only come in if the fast bowler went out, and if you had the track as many were expecting the Vizag track to be. That's not how it is. So I think they've taken the right call.
They have taken it, yeah. Ashish Ranjan, do you think Kuldeep Yadav could be a surprise element for English batsmen? I would assume yes. Because leg spin gets itself, it's a different novelty altogether. And remember, England, they have had a kryptonite against leg spin. Let us make no mistake about it. They have struggled against Anil Kumble. They have struggled against Shane Warne. In the baseball era, like what I was mentioning, in the Pakistan series, Abrar Ahmed did take 11 wickets. So that is why.
But I think, again, surprise, Kuldeep Yadav not so much, because I think when they came to India, he would have been one of the bowlers that they would have practiced against, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that he may come in and pick up wickets which wrist spinners have. We mentioned yesterday in the dugout that there are stats to suggest that wrist spinners, ever since England has started playing baseball, wrist spinners is that one commodity that's done very well against an English batter. So you know that he will. But I'm saying, for Kuldeep, they would have spent, when they'd spent that 10 days in UAE, he would be one such bowler that you worked hard on, alongside, of course, Jadeja and Ashwin. But yeah, he's playing on a flatter track. They practice Kuldeep on a rank turner. Kuldeep on a flat track, they may not have.
That might be the surprise element. I'm waiting for the spin, but it's skidding straight on. So, Sarat Chandra Yalamarthi is asking me, you said India is scared because they didn't win a trophy in last 11 years. But will this be applicable for Dravid Tendulkar's era, as they didn't win anything then? In partiality, yes. Yes, because see, Tendulkar at least won 2011. So that is one way that he got off the thing that, yes, I got an ICC trophy. But then see, 1996 semi-final, you got scared. You chose to chase because you were spooked by Sri Lanka's capability to chase. You didn't take into account the wicket. I think you only mentioned, no, Nikhil, that only Navjot Singh Sidhu had said, no, we should.
Yeah.
And
In
the
that
rest of the team
semi-final,
agreed.
no,
Kolkata.
only Navjot Sidhu is the only player
Yes.
who said before the team meeting, when the decision was taken, that we should not be chasing, we should be batting first. Everyone else thought we should be chasing. That was, primarily because Sri Lanka were chasing so well.
And 2003
Vinod Kamble has a
final.
different story for this.
What's his story?
That everyone was ready to bat, everyone was padded. Then when the captain came inside, he said that we are bowling, and everyone was shocked. And I was the one who was the. And he started crying while telling the story.
No, he cried in the match also.
After eventually the match was called off, but while telling this story also, he started crying.
Maybe. But then also 2003.
As he cried on 2-3 other TV shows,
Yes.
where he said
Exactly,
Sachin Tendulkar did not help him in life.
And Sarat Chandra 2003 also, you got scared. You got scared against Australia. Any team would have gotten scared by that sense.
Yeah.
So yes, I will stick by that also. And remember, at that time, India's expectations were not that high as it is now. Now with everything in your favor, you still didn't win.
Also, that era, you know who the best team was. Right now.
And with India, get Tendulkar, go home. That was how it was. So that's why. That India team was a sea change, but yes, they were also scared. This India team, superpower, but still scared. Go down, any... Varun Parvatneni, or Siraj's home is right in Hyderabad, so they released him once they decided spin will be a major role. Family bonding time for Siraj. With India batting, this seems more logical.
No, so Varun, it's not that Siraj was released after the Hyderabad test match. Siraj travelled with the team to Vizag. He was in practice. I think once you took a decision, and many will say that if you didn't want to play him, why did you take him to Vizag? So just for everyone to understand, I don't think the decision of who to play would have been taken any earlier than last night. Usually when you know what conditions are on offer and you really know the nature of the pitch on the eve of the game, once that was taken into account, then firstly a cricketing decision was made, whether you're playing Siraj or whether you're playing Mukesh. When a cricketing decision was made that you are going to go with a Mukesh who you thought may do well because he's been continuously playing red ball cricket, plays a lot of Ranji Trophy in these flatter conditions, may be better suited to pick wickets. Once you decided that, then you decided to release Siraj, because remember, Siraj is continuously travelling with the team and you will need to give him some break, and there is a 9-day break after this test match as well. So that much period, then it made sense to send him home. So it's not the other way around, that you thought we need to give him a break, we need to give him workload management, so you go, and then they decided to play a Mukesh. That's not happen. I think till last night they would have been contemplating who to go with. Once your team was made, then maybe Siraj, and as I said, there has been a bit of an issue with players not getting break. Ishan Kishan is a case in point, right? The whole debate started with him wanting to take a break. Maybe they are more mindful of that after that episode. So they want all format players to have some time at home or whatever break that they need. And that Siraj is one of those all format players. So that call has, first you took a cricketing call, then once it was taken, instead of having him here sit for 3 days, 4 days, whatever, and then anyway after this test match, I think players would be allowed to go home. It's a 9-day break. You decided to send him 4-5 days before. I think it's as simple as that.
Yep. Prakash Jha, the only way Indian batting can crumble on this pitch is they try to over-attack. Just play sensibly. Sensible comment,
But,
Prakash?
But again, it's a thin line between attack and, going into your shell. I am saying forget over-attack, attack, shell. Play what you are comfortable with. Each batter needs to decide. That's what I'm saying. If you, before the game only, put a template that you play like this, no, you play like that, or that's going to be a problem. Let the batter, and see, all of these batters have spent playing enough cricket to have reached this far, right? So why would you not trust their judgment to assess the condition themselves and take a call?
Yep.
I think that's what they get paid big bucks for.
Exactly. So Jaiswal on strike and Jimmy might start. So Menak Biswas, why 4 spinners for England? Wood and Anderson both would have played. Root is a good enough bowler. Thoughts? I was very different that both teams have done what they have, but I think they've gone with their strength. I think England do realize that in these conditions, their fast bowlers may not have the arsenal to then pick wickets. So which is why the call is that go with Jimmy Anderson, who does have everything required to take wickets, but they did see a Mark Wood in Indian conditions, and those were even tougher conditions, not being able to pick wickets. So on a flatter track, his chances of succeeding, go down even furthermore. So then they decided that, okay, with the resources that we have, who has a better chance, and they've gone with a spinner. India, on the other hand, feel that their fast bowlers will be better suited to be picking up wickets. So they've gone with that. I mean, it's an interesting thought process. Both have gone with different ideas. So it'll be interesting to see which team comes out on top. But if you ask me, like, even before the game started, if I was part of either camps, I think this is the call that I would have taken. England would have gone with an extra spinner. I wouldn't have played a Wood after what I saw of him in that previous test match. Lest we forget, India's not even gone with a Siraj. Yeah.
So they've taken call based on that test match. So you go with your best bowlers, and those are the best bowlers available to both teams at the moment.
Yep. After 7 months, Jimmy gets the ball. And
Yeah.
Piyush Nandre, in the last few years, our batsmen looked more confident on green top and bouncy pitches than rank turners. Should we be happy or disappointed?
Interesting question. I think you should be happy because what has happened is, and I was just thinking about that actually, on my way to work, that one thing that has happened with Indian cricket is that on rank turner we keep complaining, but at the end of the day we complain because we're looking at scores relatively. At the end of the day you're still winning, right? So you are outscoring the opposition. Whether that level of score may have come down, but you're still outscoring them, lest we forget. What that tells you that the conditions are much tougher. So you're still coping in those conditions better than a lot of other teams. That's one. Secondly, the fact that you've started doing so well overseas is a big. So while other teams have still continued to struggle in India have a unblemished record at home. You are going there. You've just this English team, and I was thinking about it. You've gone and just drawn the series there. You had a very good chance of winning.
Yeah.
So if England win this series or draw this series, while it will be one of their finest performances and people will go gaga and the cricket world will celebrate, lest we forget that they would have just equaled what India has already done to them.
Yeah.
So they're already behind the curve. India is going and winning in Australia, drawing a series there, drawing a series in South Africa. So India really has moved a step up, whereas opposition team are still looking for that magic formula to win in India. India has found that formula going abroad. The other teams are still searching, and that tells me that Indian cricket has moved forward.
Indeed. It's a generational Indian cricket team.
Yeah.
In that sense. So yeah, we should be happy. I mean, look, I know the quality of cricket that is there in the subcontinent, especially in India, because of the pitches, doesn't make for good viewing. But then you win on any condition. I will be critical of the fact the pitches are bad, but then you're still winning. So that's the way we look at it. So any other comments?
That's all. Game started.
Game started. Jimmy, first 2 balls down the leg side. Okay, end of the first session. I mean, what score?
Prakash Jaz picked 98 for no loss. Interesting.
110 for 1.
110.
Yeah, I'm going 115 for 1.
Yep.
I'll go 85 for 2 maybe.
100 for 1.
100 for 1.
Okay. Bye bye. Take care. See you.
Nandri.